I've had this prediction ever since Obama got into office for the second time, when this country came together collectively and voted this dude in again. Mm-hmm. I've had a prediction, and predictions are like, it's just like predicting anything, like a football game or who's going to win the presidential election. We don't know the outcome until the final score has been made or the final votes has been tallied. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist. I've talked about conspiracy theories on this show before, but more in jest than anything. I don't believe in big conspiracies and stuff like this. I don't get into all that. I don't wear the aluminum
hat.
Tinfoil hat. I don't do that.
Yeah, because generally speaking, to have that big of a conspiracy thing going on requires a degree of organization that most governments can't pull off.
Right. But anyway, I just look at the track records. I look at things that has happened in this country. I don't take into consideration what the talking heads or the radio hosts say.
Which, by the way, we kind of fall into that category.
Well, we do kind of, but we're not really radio hosts. We're not getting paid to do this. This is just our opinion. We are putting it out there and trying to enlighten you with fact,
right,
with how we see it, not what someone pays me to tell you,
or what someone else's agenda.
Right, exactly. We have no agenda other than saying, look, we're in the trenches. We're middle class. We live this shit every day. Mm-hmm. And we're just trying to tell you what we think about it. There's not enough people out there doing that. That's the problem. Yeah. But anyway, I equate this country as like a huge forest. And there are lots of trees in this forest. So, and in any forest, you have undergrowth. And the undergrowth can get so bad at times that it actually starts choking the life out of the forest. So to control that undergrowth, you have to have what's called a controlled burn. A forest fire. You have to have a forest fire to get rid of the things that are choking the life out of the forest. And when I say undergrowth, I'm talking about there's things in this country like political correctness, Islamic terrorists, the Black Lives Matter movement, which is just racism. You have hundreds and hundreds of things, no borders, people trying to get in. This is all undergrowth. And what I'm trying to say is we need a controlled burn. We do. This country needs it. Throughout history, there's always been controlled burns to get things under control. And there's different ways that a forest fire happens. It's either naturally, could be lightning, could be whatever. There's the foresters will come in and actually do a controlled burn environment where they prep the forest for the burn, and then they burn out what they need to, and they got it under control, and they let it go. And then there's the malicious forest fires, an arsonist. An arsonist doesn't start a fire to help things. They start a fire to destroy. And it is my belief, and I could be wrong, and I hope to God I am. It is my belief that we have an arsonist in our midst in this country, and it is in the person of Barack Obama. He's been, I think, sprinkling accelerant across this country for the past 7 years. And we've seen fires erupt. We've seen it happen. And they're still burning.
Yeah, they are.
But I don't think we've seen the firestorm that's coming. We've yet to see it. He said when he was elected president that he would deal with guns the last term of his presidency. Mm-hmm. Then we're right here. I really believe, and like I said, I hope I'm wrong, and this is just a prediction. All these, at this time, all these people, all these refugees that are trying to get in, I think it's an engineering. I think he's setting up for not a controlled burn, but an out-of-control burn.
But a wildfire.
A wildfire. And this is what's going to happen. As far as predictions of who's going to win the presidency or the primary or whatever, I don't think anybody's going to win. I think he's going to put, just like France, when this attack happened on France, the French government, they came in, they put it in a state of emergency and shut all the borders, and they've taken over. We've seen things happening around this country, like, for instance, Jade Helm, and other things that has been going on in this man's presidency, who we know has disdain for this country.
And we know he's been collecting information through the Patriot Act on those who don't agree with him.
Right.
We know that kind of information has been, and that's what they like to call domestic terrorism.
Right.
We know
Right.
that that they have been stockpiling this. They say it's not for any use, but you don't stockpile things for no use.
Right. So this is my prediction that when it's winding down, close to the time to vote in a new president, there's going to be something that's going to happen in this country that's going to be so bad, he's going to declare a state of emergency. He's going to shut everything down. And if you don't think this has never happened in this country, oh, it's happened.
Yeah, it absolutely has happened.
It has happened in this country.
Our Constitution has been, Lincoln, during the Civil War, suspended several of the Bill of Rights, suspended habeas corpus, suspended freedom of speech, did this. It has happened.
It's happened before. And I think it's going to happen again.
Absolutely.
And I think we're going to see it in our lifetime. Yeah. And I hope I'm wrong. But
our lifetime, we're going to see it the next year.
Well, yeah. And here's the thing. I'm definitely not the brightest person in the field, but I can read the signs. Mm-hmm. I can. If you look out your window and you see clouds rolling in, you're going to say, I think it's going to rain. Mm-hmm. And if you can't look at what this man has done to this country and say he's not done yet, as you said before, you're the definition of a fool.
Yep. I could definitely see it happening. And there's been rumors and murmurs of this kind of thing happening for a while. It's been kicked around and talked about, and usually it's in some of the more extreme. But it's starting. It's the only thing that makes sense. And I'm gonna close my segment here with making a statement to those who have been challenging on Facebook, those who say it's not the best idea to accept refugees, and especially those who say it's unchristian, and that throw the "what would Jesus do" business out there about that. Okay, first of all, Jesus was no fool. Okay, you can't help anyone by putting yourself by hurting your own ability to help them. Okay, and you say, I don't think we need to seal these people out because they're in need. Then my response to you is, why the hell do you have locks on your doors? Mm-hmm. Why? And I know you do, because everybody has locks on their doors. I have locks on my doors not because I hate my neighbors. Okay, I have no problem with my neighbors, but I love my family.
Right.
And I want to protect my family. And there's nothing in the Bible about not protecting your family. Scripture tells us, blessed be God who trains my hands for war and my fingers to fight. Okay? And I know you want to talk about how turning the other cheek and pleading for the orphan and the widow. We're not going to help anybody if we're all dead.
That's right.
Okay? We're not. And I'm not saying we shouldn't help people. I'm not saying we shouldn't help these people. I'm saying we should help these people in a manner that does not put at risk our ability to help anybody else.
Right.
Okay. If we welcome these people in with incomplete background checks, incomplete investigations, and all, it's not gonna be any safer for them here than it is over there. Well, you've got to fix the situation, and you've got to fix it in a way that it is actually fixed, not just delayed, and not just move the battle from one battlefield to another. We've got to deal with this in a way that we can actually bring benefit. And there's a type of peace that can only be found on the other side of war, folks. And we have to, if either we're going to have a nation or we're not going to have a nation. And the thing is, you've got to understand, and I can't figure out why this is so hard for people to understand, that those who are plotting our deaths are willing to do whatever it takes. Mm-hmm. The idea that they might die in this is not a deterrent to them at all. Not at all. You can't threaten them with just mere death. That really does not impress them. They're fine with that. Matter of fact, they're convinced that that's the surest way for them to get to paradise, is to die and take a lot of people with them. Mm-hmm. they're looking forward to that. They're raised to believe this. While you're teaching your children, don't judge them because they act like idiots. While you're teaching them that, treat them with love. Treat them with embrace them. They're teaching their children. Look, when they embrace you, stab them between the ribs. It's a good target. Okay, this is they will use that attitude against you, and then you've helped no one. Okay, this is like the thing where Jesus said the blind can't lead the blind because they'll both fall in the ditch. If we let in a bunch of the same people who are doing the killing over there in over here, then we're all going to get killed and nobody's helped. Okay, it's not a matter of saying you can't come here. It's not a matter of saying we don't care about you. It's not a matter of saying that we're not going to help you. It's a matter of saying we're going to help you, but we're going to do it in a way that we can help the most people in the most efficient way without causing more death and destruction and without letting it spread to our shores and causing even death and destruction here. We're not going to allow that kind of thing. That's not charity. That's just foolishness. That's not love. That's a suicide pact.
Right.
Okay. There's a big difference, and don't try to. I mean, if people come down on certain politicians and say, "Oh, he wants to build a wall." Yeah, he wants to build a wall with a door.
Yeah,
the door that's going to let those in who are properly, who have been through the correct process and are not going to be a threat to those on the inside. Because we can't. Don't forget that while we're helping all these other people, there are plenty of people back here at home who need help here.
Right.
Okay. If you're wanting to help. If you are so concerned about helping people in need, I guarantee you that in your community you will find people in need. What about them? Go help them. Listen, when we have done everything and to fix our own house here and take care of the problems of everybody here, then let's look out and see who else we can help.
Right.
There's no need in going and wasting materials and finances to go across the world to help people when we got people who need help right here. Okay? Let's fix this problem first. Get the beam out of our own eye before we start trying to get the beam out of everybody else's eye.
That's right.
Okay? Don't tell me that don't try to start to try to use Jesus as some kind of crowbar to force me into doing something that's stupid, okay?
Yeah.
Because Jesus wasn't a fool, okay? He didn't teach foolishness. He told his disciples there were going to be hard times, and he told them, "Hey, listen, if you've got a money bag and you've got a cloak, go buy a sword too." This is scripture. Don't give this watered down lefty version of it that all Jesus did was hug everybody. Listen, let me remind you that if you say, "What would Jesus do?" Beating people with a whip and flipping over tables and kicking butt is not outside the realm of possibility.
That's right.
Okay? Remember this. And don't let people use your religious beliefs against you. That's why these guys, these poor deluded jerks, have got in the position they're in, because they've got people who are using what they consider to be Holy Scripture to make them do heinous and evil things. Okay? Don't let people shoehorn you with that. That's my finishing statement for tonight. I feel for our brothers over in France. I wish recovery to those who are injured, and I wish swift victory to those. I wish to God that our country. This is what I say to you, brother, to you people in France. I wish our country was as we once were. We could be standing shoulder to shoulder with you. Unfortunately, all I can do is sit back and offer you my condolences.